Veterans and reflect about everything that's going on. My name is Valdez, Bravo, he and his pronouns. I serve as the president of Healthcare for All Oregon. But the way I got involved in politics is actually because of my military service. Now, a lot of people think military veterans are all kind of one type of person or one type of way. I'm an English major. That's like the first funny thing right there. You got an economist and an English major walk into a rally. But I grew up in Salem. I joined the Army. When you join the Army, they ask you for the reasons: patriotism, occupation, college money, adventure, travel, job. I joined for an occupation because I was came from a very blue-collar family. The college money sounded like a bonus, but I didn't know that I'd ever use it. But I served for 8 years in the Army, 95 to 2003, as a medical equipment repairman. That's how I stumbled into healthcare. And served in Afghanistan at Bagram Air Force Base with the 2nd Combat Support Hospital and Theater over there. But I came home and I went to work pretty much right off the bat at the VA hospital, the VA Portland Healthcare System. Love my VA peeps, love the VA family, taking care of the vets. And when we talk about taking care of the vets, I like to quote Bernie Sanders, who got me activated in politics, because back here it says honor veterans. And what Bernie says is that if you can't afford to care for your veterans, then don't send them to war. But here we have an administration that's attacking the VA, dismantling the systems that we're putting into play to provide that very specific type of culturally specific care that veterans need, that only the VA knows how to provide because of the unique injustices and harms that fall on veterans. But they're going after it. I was in the VA from 2004 to 2022, rising up from the basement to the C-suite and seeing everything in between. And the saying was that they would never be able to attack the VA or dismantle the VA because the veterans groups would never allow it. The DAV, the VFW, the Legion, they would never allow it. But what seems to be happening is, with the slow roll of privatization attacks beginning in 2014 with the Choice Act and then 2018 in the Mission Act, is that they are slowly convincing the veteran organizations that sending care out to the community is a good thing, that going away from the VA is a good thing. Not pointing out the fact that there is no care in the community. The care is not as high quality in the community. You can't even get care and access where veterans live because we live all over the U.S. and there aren't hospitals all over the U.S., especially now where hospitals are starting to crumble and disappear because of the financing system. And that was even before HR 1 and the disinvestment that's happening. So I got active because of Bernie and Veterans for Bernie. Met Mitch at some early events back in the day. He reminded me recently. But that's what brings me here today. I serve as president of Healthcare for All Oregon. We're a 501c3 nonprofit advocating for a publicly funded universal healthcare system here in Oregon and beyond. Universal healthcare, anyone? Does anyone here think healthcare is a human right? Yeah. All right. So the thing is, healthcare should be a human right, and right now, because I'm a veteran, I get VA care at the VA. I'm also Native American, so I can get care through Chihuahua and Indian Health Services. But nobody should have to mortgage their life and serve in the VA and risk their life in danger and go and fight in the foreign countries and support war making and killing of the death machine to get healthcare. This should be a human right for everybody, regardless if you've served or not, regardless if you have a job or not, regardless if you love or not, where you come or not. So we at Healthcare for All Oregon have a different way, and what we're really excited is for our panel tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on Zoom. You can find out about it at HCAO.org, Healthcare for All Oregon's website, HCAO.org, and you can register for free. It's a 6 p.m. webinar with my friend Dan Shea here, speaking about his experience as a Vietnam veteran seeking care and the kind of care that he and his family needed after coming home. And then we have Suzanne Gordon, who wrote the book and has been a huge champion on the privatization attempts on the VA. A lot of folks on the right, the MAGA, the neo-libs, they just see the VA as this big cash cow. Oh, if we could just get our hands on that, we could make even more money for the insurance company, Big Pharma. We don't want that. So anyway, Suzanne Gordon's going to be on the call talking about that. And then last but not least, we're going to have Betsy Zucker. Anyone here know Betsy Zucker?
Yeah.
Betsy's with Jobs with Justice. She's a single payer advocate, and she's a retired VA clinician with AFGE 2157. So tune in tomorrow night. There's a flyer up here if you want to come snap a picture of it, or go to Healthcare for All Oregon's website. Here Dan, here Suzanne, here Betsy, and myself, here's truly moderating and contributing, talking about veterans care, because the thing is, a lot of single payer advocates think that, people think that in the single payer movement you don't have a VA anymore. Just because we have universal health care, just because we move to a single payer system, does not mean we're going to lose the VA. We're always going to need the VA. As long as you have veterans, we're going to need the VA because they're the only ones that can do it. They provide the highest quality of care for veterans. And so our title is Healthcare for All Who Served, Reinforcing the VA. not replacing it. I hope you can join us tomorrow night. Thanks for being here.